Luka Doncic isn't just a superstar. He's a problem the entire NBA has no answer for. And when the greatest players to ever lace up sneakers start going out of their way to talk about one guy, that's not a coincidence, that's a verdict. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Allen Iverson, Kevin Garnett, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, these aren't bloggers or analysts. These are the men who defined generations of basketball. And every single one of them is saying the same thing about Luka Doncic. So if you've ever wondered what separates a great player from a generational one, pay attention, because what these legends are describing isn't just talent. It's something the NBA hasn't seen in a very long time. Since the day Luka Doncic was drafted, the league hasn't been the same. He wasn't just another dangerous rookie, he wasn't even just a guaranteed starter, he was generational. And the stats and achievements since his first game are on another level. In 2026, Luka is averaging 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. Over his last 10 games, that number jumps to nearly 38 points per game. And then there was that night against the Miami Heat, a 6-0 point performance that had the entire basketball world standing still. As former NBA guard Jeff Teague put it on his podcast, Luka Doncic went insane yesterday. 60-73 for Luka yesterday. Went absolutely insane. His co-host didn't hesitate either, saying Luka was sneaking up on the MVP trophy. But this isn't just about stats anymore. It's about what NBA legends are starting to see in one of the most complete players we've ever watched. If there's one player in the league whose endorsement carries the most weight, it's LeBron James, arguably the greatest basketball player who has ever lived. And LeBron has had nearly the most teammates in NBA history, which means when he singles someone out, it means something real. Since joining the Lakers alongside Luka, LeBron has seen a side of Doncic that the public rarely gets access to: the practice floor, the film room, the grind behind the highlights. And when speaking to Pat McAfee, this is what he had to say. His name is Luka Magic for a reason. He's a very transcendent player, and he is still that guy. In order for us to reach our potential, he has to be that guy. He has to fit out, and we'll figure it out. We need you to be who you are. LeBron went from watching Luka on TV to guarding him on the court to now playing alongside him every night, and he's still amazed. That progression, fan to opponent to teammate, and the awe never fading tells you everything. The Lakers are in safe hands, but LeBron isn't the only one who recognized Luka's dominance from a unique position. Jalen Brunson, now one of the best point guards in the NBA, got his first up-close look at Doncic when both were on the Dallas Mavericks. And what Brunson described wasn't just admiration, it was shock. He came in as a confident, highly touted young guard who believed he could control any game. Then he watched Luka walk into the gym. He came in right away, like it looks so effortless. They just see this man come in the gym, do his work, and when they play pickup, it just looks like he's doing that in slow motion, but he's doing whatever he wants. And then Brunson said something that puts everything into perspective. From day one, I was like, this dude is good. Like, damn, this dude is good. Do I belong? Let that sink in. Jalen Brunson, an MVP-level guard who has led the New York Knicks deep into the playoffs, genuinely questioned whether he belonged in the NBA because of how good Luka Doncic was. That's not hyperbole. That's what elite looks like when you're standing right next to it. Now, if Brunson's experience tells you something about Luka's dominance, what Kevin Durant has to say tells you something about his evolution. KD is the gold standard for scoring in the modern era. A two-time NBA champion, two-time Finals MVP, and one of the most technically gifted offensive players in the history of the sport. And even Durant openly admitted that he didn't believe in Luka early on. At first, I didn't when he first came into the league, because I'm like, all it is step-back threes, and they be short as hell. He was shooting like 27% to 30% from the three-point line early on. But then something happened. Playing against him one time, he beat us by 40 when I was with Golden State, and he was controlling every possession. I was like, yeah, he nice. And from there, KD watched Luka grow into something far more dangerous. He just made himself into a complete offensive player. He added posting up, fadeaways, mid-range pull-ups, layered dimension after dimension onto his game. Durant noted that Luka gets a good shot up every time down, and that for a player who controls the ball as much as he does, that is genuinely rare. When the man widely considered the greatest pure scorer alive stamps your offensive game, there's nothing left to debate. And it's not just scoring. The thing that separates Luka from other elite guards and scorers is his ability to make plays. He is the best scorer in the league, while simultaneously ranking in the top 5 in assists. That combination makes him impossible to build a defensive scheme around, because if you sell out to stop the score, he finds the open man. And Tyrese Halliburton, one of the best passing point guards in the entire NBA, experienced this firsthand. Halliburton described a specific moment where Luka, trapped on the baseline, jumped and threw a whipping pass that threaded through the defense perfectly. He threw that pass against us on the baseline when he was trapped, and he jumped and he whipped it, and I was behind him. He turned around, looked at me. I said, "Yo, you are special." That was crazy. And then Halliburton summed it up cleanly. His IQ for the game is crazy. Think about what has been established now. KD has stamped his scoring. LeBron has stamped his presence. Brunson has stamped his game control. And Halliburton, one of the best playmakers in the league, has stamped his passing. 4 pillars of Luka's game, validated by 4 of the most credible voices in basketball. But praise lands differently when it comes from retired legends, men who no longer have anything to gain from flattery. Allen Iverson, an NBA MVP, Hall of Famer, and one of the most iconic guards in the history of the sport, was asked by Stephen A. Smith to name his dream starting 5 to play with. AI chose Luka Doncic at the point guard spot above himself. Stephen A. pushed back immediately, questioning Luka's tendency to hold the ball. Iverson wasn't bothered at all. "I'm not using that excuse. You put me on the court with that serial killer, right? You got problems." Allen Iverson said he would happily facilitate off Luka Doncic in his own fantasy lineup. That is one of the most remarkable endorsements in modern basketball, and it came without hesitation. And then there's Kevin Garnett. KG was one of the most intense, cerebral, and competitive players to ever step on a basketball court, an NBA champion, MVP, and Hall of Famer who has forgotten more about the game than most players ever learn. And Garnett didn't just praise Luka, he compared him to Larry Bird. "I love Luka's pace. I love Luka's maturity. He's not afraid of anything in the league. He goes at some of the best defenders the same way and makes them look like they're not that great of defenders. You can't speed him up, and he's figured out the league." KG connected Luka's confidence and poise to a story about Larry Bird, who said he didn't just think he could play in the league, he knew he could dominate it. That's the same energy Garnett sees in Doncic, and the reason it holds up is the timeline. Luka was dominating the EuroLeague at 17 years old. He skipped college entirely and arrived in the NBA already polished, already poised, already playing like a 10-year veteran. KG recognized it immediately. He looks so polished. Maturity and basketball IQ at that level cannot be manufactured. Real recognizes real. What these legends are collectively describing is a player who is already a first-ballot Hall of Famer at just 27 years old. He has the scoring instincts of Michael Jordan, the playmaking vision of Magic Johnson, and the competitive confidence of Kobe Bryant. The Lakers had a slow start after acquiring him, but over the last 20 games, they have been one of the most dangerous teams in the league. Luka is not just finding his groove, he is surpassing his previous ceiling. And the postseason is approaching. This is the last player any team in the NBA wants to see on the other side of a playoff bracket. The question the entire basketball world is now asking is simple. Does Luka Doncic win the MVP this season, a trophy that by the numbers he has deserved multiple times already, and does he lead the Lakers to an NBA championship? Or does the narrative shift and Luka goes down in history as the greatest player to fall short when it mattered most? Right now, based on everything the legends are saying, based on the 6 0-point games, the 3 8-point averages, the triple-double consistency, and the sheer dominance that has the best players in the world shaking their heads in disbelief, Luka Doncic is showing absolutely no signs of slowing down. And if you believe what LeBron, KD, Brunson, Halliburton, Iverson, and Garnett all believe, then what we are watching right now is not a peak, it's a launch pad. If you've made it this far, drop a comment right now. Do you think Luka Doncic wins the MVP and the championship this year, or does someone find a way to stop him? And if you want more deep dives like this one, the real stories, the real quotes, the real conversations happening inside the league, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is Hoop Dungeon. Sonnet 4.6